Got to hold the phone for a long time and read now. Can anybody hear me? I don't know if anybody can hear.
I'll let you know in a minute.
Oh, you can have a look on there for me, thanks. Well, don't know if anybody can hear yet. I think I've got a viewer. Kerry, can you hear me? Hi Claire, can you hear me? Alright Mary. Don't worry, you're not the only one. So, can anybody hear? I'm just waiting for some more people to go on. I don't know if people can see me because the text's coming up all over half the picture.
Yeah, I can see it perfectly fine.
Yeah. Alright Anne, I'm just after somebody to tell me if anybody can... Thank you Claire.
There you go. Yeah. You can hear yourself.
Yeah, well, can you turn my volume down on that one because...
Yeah, well, you wanted to know if people could
Yeah, so people can hear me.
Yeah.
I'll just wait until a few more are on. Thanks, Claire. Yeah, if it can be shared or you can tag your friends, it would be good if a lot of people can hear it because I might have a lot of comments. I'm not very good at answering comments like typing them while I'm on air. I'm a bit fingers and thumbs, but I can certainly answer, you know, to what I'm seeing anybody's put in. Don't know if you can see this. I was hoping to do this on my laptop, but it's playing silly ones. It's just a photo of my beautiful family. That's my great nan, my dad and his sister. I love that photo.
Do you want this?
Can I talk on that one?
You can see the comments.
Oh, I can see the comments coming up here as well. You could keep it to one side, yeah. Also, quite pleased with this. I'm having a new wooden floor. I'm just talking about anything at the minute. Thank you, Anne. Love you. As always.
Don't get a table and put the laptop on there.
Right, so, yeah, Kieron spoke out through me, which is give me consent to do. I am restricted, but he has given me consent. I think he should have more of the side read. It should be about the child. Well, he's a young adult now. And some of you have already seen this post, but I don't feel enough people have seen it yet. I posted it on September the 7th at 10:43 PM. And it's Kieron's story. I wish I could speak on that one instead.
No, I know.
Yeah, I woke up today. As you know, my son, who is allegedly adopted, is home. You know, he has been quite a while. We was also allowed to speak before he was 18. I've made a post-adoption application, which was successful despite the order being kicked out. The doors was left open for us. So we'd got our contact and reunification built up gradually. Now, one of the things that I wanted to know, if your child should contact you, that they tell you that it will be 18, not necessarily. My son had wanted to know us since he was 11 years old. They can be told quite earlier on when they're quite young that they're adopted. And the thing is, if there's any details not told to them, what I can tell you is that they will go through paperwork to have a look. When they come home, you know, when it gets to that point, they will go through things, or they'll see things in the house and they will ask questions about it. Watch out what you have in your bedroom, because if you've got any, I don't know, say underwear or any of your bedroom toys or anything like that. Don't mean to sound, you know, really bad. In fact, it wasn't that was found in mine. It was, there was a newspaper with a story about a social worker. If I recall rightly, she was being an escort, and there was some photos in it, so I was asked about that. So I've told Kieron that he can ask me anything, can explain to him. It was just some evidence that I had on a social worker that was doing that. I said, you know, we do show quite a lot of interest in things where, you know, they're putting out that they're there for children, but no, not necessarily. Now, for a long time, I had done a blog trying to bridge the gap between adoptive parents and natural birth parents, because I'd read books on the effects, what it was like for the child that's adopted. I had read on what it's like for the adoptive parent, and of course we know for ourselves what it's like. It's a living hell every day, not seeing your child, isn't it, and worrying that they're okay at school if they've had an accident. You know, before they go, you hear an ambulance, and if your children are living anywhere nearby, your heart goes in your mouth. It's just absolute fear, and then that's made worse because you're not getting to see your child. So I definitely think things need to change with that. If things can be changed at court, or court orders amended where children are with family or with foster care for them to come home, or for a better level of contact to be built up with the natural birth parents, then why can't that be done with adoption? Why has adoption got to be so closed off? Why can't it be more open? You know, I thought it was something that the judge over all these family courts now was looking at, more open contact. Yeah, it really does need to be done. And I mean, I can tell you why. The child's coming back to you, they're coming back to a total stranger, and when they meet you, you know, that they barely remember anything about you, and that's if your child wasn't took as a baby. What they've actually done is they've destroyed your relationship and your child's relationship, and they are not looking at what it's like for them as a child. Last night, Kieron was in the shower room. Hi, Paul. Kieron was in the shower room, and I walked out the door, and the door all of a sudden shut, and I heard some banging. So I thought, well, I'm not too concerned. I can see he's okay. Shut the door. And then I came down, and I opened my back door at 9 o'clock this morning, and Kieron was like on his rucksack in the garden, and he looked asleep. My partner came down and went up and asked if he was okay, and he said, I'd rather not say. Now, this is another reason why I think it's just so important that the adopters and the natural birth parents have got that door open to encourage them to speak after. I would have no problems doing that, because it wouldn't be for me, and it wouldn't be for his other mum. He calls us both mum. It would be for Kieron. It would be for the child. You know, I'm seeing things like his knuckles, you know, he's punched a wall or something. He's had a lot of grief to go through, like with losing his dad, and I know that's a lot of it, and that's how he's taking his hurt and anger out. What I was going to ask is if anybody in Redditch has got any photos of Kieron's dad, or knows of him, or any video footage. I think that would be really helpful to him, because I've only got a limited, you know, few pictures of him. And Paul, yes, this RAD, reactive attachment disorder, this is what the children are getting when they're took and they stop seeing the parents. And it is being done unlawfully, you know, that there's cases where it's being done unlawfully. What happens is children's services are meant to carry on inviting you to meetings up until the adoption's finalised with an adoption order, and what they can be doing is writing your apologies down, because it happened to me for not attending when you haven't even been invited to them, and then you could be learning 18 months later that your contact's stopped. The children are reacting very badly to not seeing the children when they're first took. I've got that in you know, Well, the solicitor told me this by the time I managed to find another one. It's okay them doing all this for money, isn't it? Paul Davies, Social Services, lost my youngest daughter out of the care system by forgetting to put her name on the adoption register until she was 14 years old when she got adopted at 2 years old. Now 25 years old and still missing. Absolutely disgraceful, and I don't believe that, you know, from what I'm reading and what's happened with our case, I don't necessarily believe your daughter was adopted, Paul. Honestly, hand on heart, I don't. Because we haven't seen the proof of our own case, but by the time I get to read Kieron's, you know, letter, what I've done on his behalf, this is my testimony, then, you know, you'll probably get to see why more and understand more. Because, yeah, Kieron had his name, surname changed or amended at the age of 17, and there was no trace of him on the adoption register. I think it's probably going on a lot more, and that natural families should be getting a copy of the adoption orders, even if some of these personal details have got to be eradicated out. You know, that they should be getting them, because otherwise, how do you know? It's quite a clever cover-up if your child isn't really adopted, isn't it? And also, Judge will say if you challenge it, is no jurisdiction. We're happy the child was adopted because there was a court order with intent to adopt. Well, there is like an order, notice to adopt. And that's what you can be sent if you ask for the adoption order, because I did it myself. And you'll even get a compliment slip. Here's your copy of the adoption order. Well, it's not. It's a notice to adopt, and it's just so wrong that parents are being lied to and misled like that. Tara, Michelle, you're a formidable force, Michelle. It's right, you have to do your homework and have sufficient knowledge to fight these people. I'm so happy you have your boy now. Thank you. Well, the thing is, when they come home, it's not like... I've got 3 other children that I managed to get to come back home. One remained with me in my full-time care. Now, fortunately, I'm not naive. I could foresee that this wasn't going to be plain sailing. People will think that you're lucky and your child's lucky that they're back at home. But a lot of these children are losing members of their natural family, and that's what they're coming back to, and it is causing them a lot of heartache. It's messing up their lives because they haven't had the chance to see them. They just haven't had the chance. And I think where contact, if it's open, and it has to be supervised, fair enough, because it's only going to leave the child inquisitive otherwise. You know, even if children had dangerous parents, they would still want to know, you know, what's behind it. They would really want to know all about that parent. That's not going to stop them wanting to know the roots and to understand their identity. Doesn't mean the children are going to be, you know, like that. But of course they're going to want to know, but it's just so unfair on them not to tell them. It's absolutely diabolical. Now, it's not just me wanting answers if Kieron was really adopted. It's Kieron himself. He's 20 years old now. He has the right to know. And I can remember being told by an adoption clerk, because I sent in a couple of recordings, which I made them aware that I'd got when I was told about things that had got changed to do with his surname. So I said I would be going after the adoption order. I'd already got the first one, and I could only go after that because I knew the alleged adoptive mum's details and, well, an address or previous address. I knew those details, and if you know those, then you can apply for one too. Otherwise, you can only apply for the full-length A4 newer birth certificate that the adopted child will get, which will start adopted on it. Now, I've got that, and it starts adopted underneath it. But then the General Registry Office told me that they could find no trace of my son being adopted. So what the hell's going on? Are they making these adoption certificates up? Is that what it is? Sorry, I can't answer any messages, like, if I messaged it through Messenger at the minute. I've had a few of them pop up. Marie, they changed my daughter's name at 5 years old. I don't know the full circumstances of that, or if the adoption had allegedly gone through or not. I mean, I wouldn't know myself. I didn't turn up to the adoption hearing, the actual one where the court order's meant to be done, because, you know, there's been parents fluffed and put off attending, and being told it will be fruitless, you appealing. You just lied to, you know, all throughout a lot of this. Paul Davis' older daughter came back with Rad, which what they also witness in care with the foster parents. Yeah, there can be a lot of things go on in these placements. Really, it's not my place to say too much, but yes, the children are, from what I've understood from care, they're at risk of significant harm. So where you're having it used against you that your child's at risk of emotional harm or significant harm, which, by the way, if that gets changed, then drop down to just emotional harm. All children get emotionally harmed, just as adults do. All children do. You know, that can be in danger from other children there. And what happens is then they can become the protector. They feel like that they need to protect that parent or the foster carer. Yeah, this is stuff that I haven't really shared in this testimony. You might not always agree with the sort of punishment they received. Which, of course, yeah, to be fair, you've only got your child's word for that, and that's meaning no disrespect, of course, to my son. You know, I've got no reason to think that he would be lying to me, really. He has told me a lot, because he has also told me that anything that I've told him and anything his other mum has told him has matched up. It's exactly matched up. So you bear in mind the serious procedural errors that have gone on in my case that's affected all my family, then everything matches up. Claire heartbroken, replying to Paul Davis. Yeah, children don't just go missing, do they? They don't just go missing. There can be a C4 application done, nicknamed a seek and find order. In fact, the court can just send you one if you apply for post-adoption face-to-face contact for their details to be found out, and for you to find out when you make your application. That might be worth you doing, Paul. But having said that, the age she is now, 24, that could be very difficult now, to be fair. But these are the things that you're not told at the time, which if you would have known, you know, you might have been able to have found out a lot more, but something's not right with your case. It's really not. Marie Foreman, I think they should ban adoption completely and do guardianship with prospective adopters instead, if absolutely necessary, and a visit order made in court so the child has contact with birth parents. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. And these orders, they should be flexible. I mean, when they're risking them off going behind your back, putting them with any of your ex's family, with a grandparent and the partner or anything like that, that's okay for them to do behind your back, isn't it, when you're supposed to have the parental responsibility of your child? I mean, is it? Heck, it's not okay. But this is the sort of thing they can go behind your back doing that. But who is thinking of the child and what they want? And when your child told you they didn't even want to be there in the first place, but then they got used to being there. You know, there's a problem when children's services are that they don't mind if the child's living there or at yours, and if they have 14 moves, like what happened with one of my children. My eldest remained in my full-time care, the other one in foster care. He'd lived with family foster care, went in children's homes, had terrible treatment in the one where he was beat up by staff. He was allowed to come home. In fact, he came home and he was staying at mine when it all came out that he got beat up by staff that we supposed to be having a serious investigation done for. But did we? Heck, we saw nothing further from that. Marie, they tried to put an SGO on my 15-year-old daughter who I see. Claire replying to Marie Foreman, yes, and family workers. Marie Keegan Thomas, bear in mind I have 2 children in my care. See what I mean? How can you be a fit enough parent to care for 2 children and not another one? It just does not make sense. It really does not make sense. Yeah, I agree, Paul, when foster parents change all the kids' names, it's wrong, because that's changing the kids' true identities. That is absolutely right. And do you know what else is wrong? When they go doing it behind the child's back, which is what's happened to Kieron, it's all been done behind his back when he was 17 years old. Now, why wasn't he told by the council, the court, or asked even? Why wasn't he consulted by the GRA? Why wasn't he consulted by his mum? The first he knew was by me. And I'm sorry, on that, he's had like quite a positive time of things. But on that, if this was the other way around and she was in my shoes, she'd be saying the same. Why wasn't he asked? He was at that age where he should have been asked. Whether they say it was a mistake or not and it needed amended, he still had that right to know at the age of 17. I'm sorry, but he did, and it is absolutely disgusting. Paul, I've sent up a petition about forced adoption children to have their names revealed as adulthood so they know their true identities. Yeah, please put that on my wall, Paul. We'll keep getting that shared. Claire, social worker want birth certificate, etc. Very suspect. Well, they want the birth certificate so as you make their job easier when they're going in for adoption. And they'll tell you it's nothing to worry about. You're doing very well. You know, we want to look at helping you get your child home. If that's for the birth certificate, it's not like somebody said that it's just for the records. Don't believe that for 1 minute. By the time they come after the birth certificate, it says I can get it sent up to the judge. And then the judge decides if you get that certificate back or not, because if the child's adopted, you don't, as a rule, get it back, or at least you didn't. Now, for some reason, I got sent Kieron's back, I got sent a copy of the original, so I've got 1 copy of that, I've got 2 copies of the never birth certificate, like the amended one, and annotated one with the word adoption, and I've got 2 copies of the adoption certificate, even though no trace can be found, you know, with the being records of him being adopted. So, yeah, made up document, fraud maybe. Oh gosh, yeah, it is grief for everyone over and over again, and it's a grief. It will never go. It will never go, and it won't for your child either. Hey, on being a while online, you well, Adam. Well, this is the thing, Adam. My son's got the extra body now, as has my other children. I've got up to 5 lumps on my neck. I'm facing having surgery soon. So this on top of, you know, what my children have already had to go through and what they've been made to go through and all the serious procedural errors, and there's just one in the bullshit ended and some answers, excuse my French. You know, it's about time some answers was forthcoming. It's all been so wrong, a miscarriage of justice, what they've done. And as long as I don't mention any names of who I can't or the places I can't to keep them comfortable, then I should be okay. But as for the other comments, I'm going to you know, let you all have a look at what each other's put and you know, answer with this, because this video is about Kieron's story mostly, but I do really appreciate and I'm really grateful to you all for your comments, and if you can get this shared and put any of your comments, add any of your comments to it, I'd appreciate it. You know, I was the only one that I was aware of personally that had a problem like this, where the adoption of, well, I believe might be void, where it's not authentic. But then Paul's come along and shared with us in the comments, which you'll be able to read, about his daughter's name, you know, when she's 14 years old, that she's put on the adoption register at 14 years old. I mean, I'm not sure how old she was when she was adopted. I think it's more unusual when children are adopted older. They like to normally get that done at quite a younger age and not always necessarily under 5 years old. But I've had mums and dads upset at Kieron's story. His story isn't the only one. There's a lot more that will be like this. So I just want to share that with you, where my partner's printed it out for me. So I'm going to read that out to you, and if there's anything you think along the way, put your comments in and I will have a look after. I'm expecting it to be the size of a Bible. I don't mind, I'll have a look, because we've got to crack this together. It's obvious that it's doing the children no good into their adulthood, and it's affecting them for the rest of their lives. It's bad enough it's doing it to us, but to the children, come on. Right, here's my testimony. I'll get my words out in a minute. If you can hear our little Che snoring in the background, she's only little. She sounds bigger than she is. Right, so on September the 7th at 10:43 p.m. 2019, this is the story that, as it goes. It is now the 7th of September 2019. This is my testimony of a heart-to-heart conversation which took place between my son Kieron, who was allegedly adopted. I tried to gain more proof after learning of more discrepancies years later, just short of Kieron's 18th. Sorry, it cut out there, didn't it? I tried to gain more proof after learning of more discrepancies years later, just short of Kieron's 18th birthday, and in doing so, I'm since restricted from mentioning specific names or places because of the mistakes. I'm allowed, however, to refer to Kieron's name and my other adult children's names in everyday life. According to one of the court clerks, there is allegedly no time limit as to when said restrictions end. I don't know why, because Kieron's 20 now. But there's obviously things that they don't want, you all to know. It's cover up, basically. I have been sent an email back from court in the past with no name attached to it. I got this rectified quickly after pointing out they work in public office, so should provide their name. Kieron is now 20 years old and has personally given me permission to share our said conversation with you on his behalf. In the small early hours of the 5th September 2019, my partner Jay walked our dog with our friend Steve. Kay, as I will now refer to Kieron, and I was sat outside in our small garden room. Kay was sat on the left of our two-seater sofa next to me, who was sat on the right. It was quiet as we both checked our phones when Kay said to me all of a sudden, "Mum, I'm really upset and angry I missed out on seeing my family most of my life, and I feel the same about my whole family." Where am I? Oh, and I feel the same about my whole life. Sorry, I'll correct that, my whole life. I said that is really understandable because I feel the same, just the other way round as your mum. I said, "Come here, let me give you a hug." Now, I know in the past, Kay shared with me he blames social services but not his mum, as in who I refer to as alleged until if a thorough investigation ever gets done into the authenticity of Kay's forced adoption order, for which I've tried before with Kay's blessing, wishes and feelings taken into account. This is also the first time I refer to Kay being allegedly adopted by said mum publicly. Before now I've referred to her as adopted parent or parents because I needed to protect Kay. Now, where am I? I better put my finger by where I am. I had a stranger in the past offer to help me locate him when he was still a child. I thanked them for their kind offer of support, but said, "I do not know you. I have never publicised a name and would never do so. Neither have I or would I bring trouble to a door." I know her before, I know her since. There are foster carers who foster to adopt. I thank her my son did not go to strangers throughout his life. I asked Kay, what is it that makes you feel upset and angry, and why do you feel this way about your whole life? I was naive to learn Kay felt this way once allegedly adopted. I will now drop the word alleged where possible to save time and to avoid an already complex situation of a case. Now, Kay shared with me some of his happier experiences being adopted in the past, as well as some of his unhappier experiences. Kay shared with me how he's eventually stood up to bullies, how he spent time in his huge garden with their animals to hug during times of comfort needed, about his personal relationship with his mum and whoever has lives there, and about punishment for bad behaviour as a child, which he told me was to help keep him on a straight road at times, avoid him going back into care. I had an image of little boy Blue, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. He's also shared with me how I interpret as to him having it all, with some of the opportunities and life experiences and chances he's got to help give him a happier and privileged life, which I admit he likely would not have got to have so much with me. Kay has had some amazing life experiences, but was it enough? Kay deployed why he's felt so upset and angry, bearing in mind he is usually quiet, and I felt up until now he keeps everything bottled up inside. Kay said, I'm upset and angry I never got to see my dad again. And I never got to see my Nan Taylor or my Uncle Brett. Now, Kay knew his Nan had expressed how she wanted to meet him again before the time came, as he'd told me he'd seen my videos, or my case. His Nan knew on her deathbed. Kay had watched her contribution to said videos. I recall her featuring in 2 with happy birthday wishes. I told Nan, and a tear fell from her eye as she held my hand tighter, even in her weak state. Bless her, she always told me Kay would be back. I trusted my Nan's instincts a lot. I told her just in time as she sadly deteriorated more straight after that. Nan was happy for us. Kay couldn't come as Nan asked because Kay and I only got to speak on social media at this time, even though a meeting was meant to be set up for Kay and I as soon as they knew Kay had found and contacted me. I was brushed aside, told to wait until Kay was 18. Thanks to a judge, post-adoption contact, it meant I could reply and speak to Kay before he reached 18 years old. 18 is the age limit in England when said alleged court order is meant to end. I'll just let you know it's 16 in Scotland, 18 in England, 18 in Wales, and 18 in Ireland. Sorry, I've just added that bit in just so as you know. I just need a drink because my throat, with the lumps on my throat as well. Well, yeah, one of them. Thank you for my coffee. I spoke positively of Kay's uncle and dad, and I know Kay's other mum supported him, losing his dad so young, and he has a significant memento of or for him back home there, which is nice. I offered to do the same here in the past, but Kay likes to keep any photos of him and wishes he had more, is the feeling I get. Really, Kay was hoping to come home here and to get to meet up with his dad and to get to see his nan again and his uncle. Kay said, Mum, you know when you saw my knuckles, they were red and grazed? It was because I'm angry I can't get to see my dad. I said, that's totally understandable. It's a shame you and them, the other lost relatives, never got got the chance to meet up again and just missed out on that. Kay said, I don't blame my dad what happened to my arm because I know he was mentally not well. Kay's dad did suffer with a mental health lifelong illness from around his teens. Now, whenever I'd spoken of Kay's dad to him, to Kay, he hadn't really said a lot. He usually gives a nod, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and at times has said or done nothing to respond at all. I thought Kay had communication problems. Kay shared he does not believe this is the case. Excuse me. I'd wondered why Kay's knuckles were like that and had asked if it was anything about me or my partner Jay which had upset him at the time, and he said no. I won't always know or find out what has upset Kay. I do ask. I ask a few times and wait for him to come to me. Then ask Kay, why are you angry and upset about your life back at home? Kay said, because I've missed out all my life, no, my family. I've missed out with my brothers and my sister, and it really upsets me because all that's missing and I can't get it back. I feel numb, I'm grieving. I asked, you mean for your dad, Nan, and your uncle? Kay said, I would have loved my dad to help me pick my tattoos and to meet up with him to know what he was like. He could have drawn my tattoos up for me. Kay said, I never got to meet my nan or my Uncle Brett and I feel angry that was taken away from me. I said, I can understand that. Then Kay said, I know I had good things I got to do back at home, but I missed out on all my family life. And I feel really upset all the time and it makes me feel angry. I feel like I've not got a proper connection with my brothers and sister, but if anyone hurt them, I'd still be upset. I asked Kay, do you feel any connection? Kay replied, do you feel any connection? Kay replied, a bit. I asked, do you feel like you've got a connection with me? Kay said, a bit. Well, a bit more than my brothers and sister. I said, I know what you mean. You didn't get to grow up with them or get to jump on beds or do all the other things brothers and sisters get to do growing up, right down to arguing. I should imagine it feels quite foreign to you. Again, I told Kieron I understand. I said, I'm still grieving over losing you and all our misjars, how your photos were stopped. Kay said, I've never stopped grieving. I'll always miss my family I've lost. I'm grieving for my family who are still alive. And when I first started coming to stay at your house, Mum, I went back home and went to my friends and drank for a month because of it, because I've missed out all my life. By now, my partner and our friend came back. I said, I'll be in a bit, Kay and I are having one of our heart-to-heart chats, which we have not had for ages. Now, Kay has had some tests done on a body organ which has come back as shown to be slightly dysfunctional and he's waiting on results of a further test for his kidney. I said, this is why I'm glad you're home. It's going to help you more with knowing family medical history. And I suggested how much younger Kay is to me with his whole life ahead of him, whereas I'm older with less time left to live. I suggested he have one of mine. Kay said, I wouldn't have your kidney, Mum. I've not got to see you for long enough yet. I said, oh, come here. Let me give you another hug. Sorry about this. I said, I know all this has been horrible for you. Your brothers and sisters do love you. Because remember, we do all remember you from you being little. And the family members who have died had all got to meet you as well. So our love has always naturally been there. I shared with Kay how I agreed with social services stopping the contact with his dad and him at the time. But not once I found out the covered up fact the judge at criminal court found the injury not to be deliberate. Like came back to me from the paper cutting I'd handed into my solicitor years earlier in good faith. Years later, I got it back which social services knew about it too, as I told them. It was in the newspapers, locally and on radio at a meeting, but I'd not taken it all in at the time. I asked Kay again, would he like to sit in with me on a live video, even if he wore sunglasses, and he said he's none most of the time to know what to say. So, you know, I'm adding this bit in now, what I'm saying. When you want children to speak out, there is a lot more children speaking out, but also they're coming back to you feeling none. When there's any awkwardness, like they might contact you and go, quote, they're digesting it all, they're taking it all in. Your children could be out there now wanting to contact you, but they're being stopped by this system from contacting you, and then things are getting more hidden because they will not want their adoptive parents to know, or they won't want the foster carers to know. Whereas if things were more open and done for the child, instead of for, you know, other people with vested interests, then it would be more done for the child, wouldn't it? So, back to this. So instead, Kay's given me consent to speak out on his behalf because after our 3 hours long chat, we both very strongly agreed that parents losing face-to-face contact is wholly detrimental to the child right into their adult life. Then it can cause the child to feel severely emotionally traumatised, hurt, angry and upset, and to run away and self-harm, feeling like their life is not worth living, and can turn them to using drink or drugs in other cases. Something else I want to add in is when they're running away in care, that they come home doing the same. They just have to have that space and they'll come home and do the same, and it could be at any time. It could be any time without you knowing, which is a big worry. So this is another reason why these services should be being more supportive to help the child, even when they're an adult, whether they're a young adult or an older adult. Their lives have been screwed up. They are out big time. Our family's lives have been screwed up with the lies and the rubbish and the serious procedural errors and miscarriage of justice. So there was all a public apology. There was all compensation, the children especially. I mean, a public apology would be nice to start with. But they've done irreparable damage to all of us, like I'm telling you, because, you know, what Kieron and I feel are the same, but me as his mum and him as the child. So, yeah, so Kieron's given me consent to speak out on his behalf. At the end of that, yeah, we both agreed that parents losing face-to-face contact is wholly detrimental to the child right into their adult life. We are people speaking from our personal experience, speaking out for other people as well that are going through this. It seriously needs to stop. That it can cause a child to feel severely emotionally traumatised, hurt, angry and upset, and to run away and self-harm, feeling like their life is not worth living, and can turn them to using drink or drugs in other cases. You could find that your child self-harmed. It could be for various, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. Sometimes I think less said about that, the better for any children listening, do you know what I mean? But this is all the sort of help that they need. Was all this sort of thing going on before they came back to us as well? Well, I don't think it's my place to speak out about that, you know, unless Kieron's ready for me to. Yeah, whoever's just put, oh my God, it's pretty scary shit. It is. And we've got to be strong going through our pain as well. We've got to be there and be strong for them and never give up on them. Never give up on them. So, Kay, like I believes it is extremely important that no parents, grandparents, siblings or themselves as children lose all their face-to-face contacts. In essence, the affected child, it appears, is affected into their adult life. who ones just like Kay will lose family members by the time they're older. And I've told Kay all those grief and extreme trauma feelings he's feeling is the same as what I'm feeling, only it's been worse for him as the child wrongly taken from his loving family. I think Kieron believes that as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure that he said that before, but he'll be able to say this and comment for himself. You know, he will be able to do that. Now, Kay feels protective towards his alleged mum, who has been there most of his life and does miss her and the rest of the household, which I totally understand. He plans to go and stay there a short while soon. Nobody owns Kay. It's important she stays in his life. Now, something I want to add into this, when your child comes home, even when, it can be quite difficult for them, because if you're the parent and you've got a partner, even though my relationship I've been in for 6 years, it can be difficult for them they'll say that they accept you being in this fully, you know, loving relationship, but there's elements of it which they have great difficulty with, and you do have to make a lot of we've had to make a lot of sacrifices. We're not able to have a fully loving relationship. In the upstairs department is one way of putting it, because that's something that would really be upsetting to him. And you know, I won't say any more about that, but I'm just trying to help you know what it's like for them. And at the same time, if anybody can help out there that's been through any of this, that knows these sort of things when our children come out, I'd appreciate that help as well, because I'm not getting it from any you know, any services there to help us. I certainly don't want it from social services. They've done enough screwing up, you know, with us. I really would like to hear from his mum. I would love to hear from her again. Kieron knows I will be absolutely fine with her. I've not got a problem with her at all. So yeah, that's nice that Kieron feels protective towards his other mum as well. And actually I'd say he's quite protective towards me as well. I've noticed that for some reason. I don't know if it's just because I'm his mum. They come back and they start off sitting by you as a parent, and then they'll widen out to sitting by the family members, and you're glad you sit back and think, oh, great. They're starting to get more comfortable now with the other family members, getting to know them. But now we're back at the stage where Kieron will be want to be sat by his mum. Which, yeah, I love that, but obviously I want him to have his freedom as well, and to venture out a bit, you know, with the other family. And I know he's got a few selective friends, which I advise him on things like that as well, what's right for him, and then I'll leave it down to his decision. That's all any parent can do that cares. He's had significantly vulnerable times back at home, through no fault of her own, that's his other mum, and has stepped in to protect. He has had to step in to protect, or he's felt that he's had to. The adoptive parents or alleged adoptive parents are not always getting the help from social services either. You know, once that dirty deed's done with the adoption or alleged adoption, they're not getting the support either. We've known that for years. Anyways, we've seen plenty about that shared over the years. So back to this, just prior to Kay moving in, he'd heard what he described as some silly arguments between my partner and I, and accepts families have arguments, but would not be accepting of violence, which is not witnessed here. Kay has expressed how he feels extremely protective towards me as his mum. Oh, there you go, he has expressed that to me. I forgot that he'd said that. Bearing in mind, Kieron has read over this. He proofread it a few times first, which fair play to him. No one hurts his mum, bless him. I do take Kay's side usually, because it's not nice for any child losing out on their family. I'm sensitive to this fact. Where I feel Kay is right or wrong, needs guidance, I'll speak to him alone, sharing where I agree or disagree. This has been a real breakthrough for me, where I've had to guess what's wrong in the past. Kay neither sees my partner as a father figure who's younger than me or a brother figure. Kay says that would be wrong. He knows who his brothers are. Jay, my partner, had 2 close family members over a 16-month time scale. His dad, who he lost, was young, as was his sister, and he hasn't minded me sharing that with you guys. Very sad as well. I've advised Kay to see the glasses half full as opposed to half empty. We are a family of 3, all with something in common, whether grieving for ones who have passed over, one still alive, where we can't simply erase all the hurt and pain we suffer. But I've said to Kay, we are still here suffering it, as is Jay, and not all have or do survive it, which makes us strong. All we can ever do is remember there are ones who are worse off than us. One person's pain can't be measured against another's. Kay likes to know everything what's going on. He likes to know the truth, as finding out after or from others would cause him more distress. So the sooner we can find out the truth about this adoption, it's going to be the better for Kieron at least, because he likes to know the truth, he does. Who can blame him? Sometimes I felt it's more appropriate for Jay to explain things depending what it is. Kay's still getting familiar with his new surroundings and will express how he feels when he comes across things round our house or any of our belongings. Other than that, Kay does feel he's in the right place living here now, yet feels he don't fully fit in living back home or here at home, and he strongly has wishes and feelings to want to connect to his brothers and sisters more. It meant the world to him, his brother coming to see him the other day, offering support with his driving. Kay had a lovely big Cheshire Cat smile on his face. No one messes with his brothers or sister. Thankfully his nan, his dad's mum, is still alive. They meet up and she comes here. Although Kay's great-nan Taylor sadly left this earth, Kay's nan and granddad, my parents, are still alive. He gets to see them as well, and his auntie Rachel. He's not allowed to see him without him getting a hug. Ha ha, Kay's words. Nearly finished this now, so bear with me. Thank you for bearing with me. Although it's going to help you know what to expect as well. You know, I believe it's going to help you as well. And if anyone can help me, I appreciate it. I don't know it all. We can only help each other because none of these services are helping, are they? And I haven't even had a cigarette yet. I don't smoke in the house anyway on the whole. Yeah, back to this. Kaya's got a really good sense of humour. He'll have me laughing until my stomach hurts, as all my children do. We share a similar sense of humour. I swear I'm not meant to laugh at some of the things, and vice versa. But don't do anything to hurt his brothers or sisters, or else you hurt him too, is a feeling I get. I hope my testimony on Kieron's behalf is of help to some others, and that his voice through me of our experiences of life as a mum, allegedly natural, and a son, forcibly alleged adopted son, / adopted, helps to bring some much needed changes such as photos, Skype, phone, video footage, and most of all face-to-face contact, even if not as often as before. Because a huge gap missing your parents and vice versa is just way too much for anybody's brain to cope with, and it's cruel. No to parental alienation at any stage of any child's life, no matter what. And if it's proved there are any dangerous parents, don't decide for the child restopping contact together. There are other ways, like with photos and video footage to the child especially, is not left damaged and traumatised with a huge part of their life, same for the parents and family missing. In Kay's case, the injury had not been deliberate, but it was suggested otherwise by authorities, which unfortunately stuck despite our story being published in the newspapers, where I was not approached about it first. Instead, it said how I could not be named for legal reasons, as I best recall. Bearing in mind, the same day adoption decisions only got made at court, I was told there was no doubt my son would come and find me, but they doubted Kay would do the same with his dad. Something else I got wrong, Kay. The 7th of the 9th 19, addendum at 22:14pm on the 7th of the 9th 19, Kay's given permission, and it is with his wishes that I post this status publicly, with special thanks to Kieron. So that's that done with. Then another thing, what I posted on September the 15th, I posted up a couple of photos of Kieron. You can't properly see all his face. Well, you can see his face, but you can't see it like wholly. And ask Kieron's permission first. I put Kieron, my little boy blue, has kindly given me permission to post these pics. This is, yeah, September the 15th at 1:27am. All he needs is a piece of hay in his mouth, and maybe a straw rat actually. But we had another heart-to-heart chat earlier, and he feels he's had depression from secondary school. The reason is he was missing his natural family and struggled not seeing us. I know he struggled badly with his emotions once all face-to-face contact was stopped, which was done unlawfully, by the way. He continues to feel all the same emotions as I do about it all. And the reason I'm sharing this is to give all you families still not reunited hope. Your children will be upset not seeing you. They'll grow up wanting to know the truth, and stopping face-to-face contact is causing the child a lot of trauma with emotional identity. Sorry, I think it cut off then. Causing the child a lot of trauma with emotional harm and identity issues, like it is the parents, false records have been held on. Even though the trauma for the family remains, don't give up hope. So if you feel like ending your life, please don't end your life. Just try your hardest, because your children are wanting to know. And you know, if they turn around and say they don't want to know, even if it comes from your child, don't forget they're being so brainwashed. Like I was told that when first time Kieron came looking for me, he had his phone took off him and his computer shut away in a cupboard. Well, Kieron told me he only had his phone took off him for an hour, but they are frightened. They're frightened of getting into trouble because they're not allowed to just contact you. But if they contact you, you should not be in so much trouble as if you've gone and approached them. There's something else that I want to share to help you all. I'll just have a drink. Now, this is only just over a page long, but you know, so many parents being misled. This is where I answered to somebody and asked for permission to share it. I'd put, no, your social worker is not just asking for your child's birth certificate for their records. And I'd thank Tracy Morris for putting the group of 5.5k members right. If your social worker is asking for your child's birth certificate, then yes, like Tracy is saying, it will be highly likely to give to the judge. Mine was obtained through deceit. I was asked for 2 of my children's birth certificates, being told the other one was needed for my other son's trip. He wasn't going anywhere out of England, so I thought perhaps they just needed it to prove he is who I said he is. One day, as time went by, I went through my children's and my birth certificates, then realised 2 were missing. I contacted the social worker who confirmed she got them and how, which reminded me. She said I could have my son's back re his trip, and that she'd forgot to send it me back, but the other one was with the judge. I saw my children's birth certificates as sentimental to me, and I'd paid for them so saw them as mine until my children were old enough for me to give them back to them. So I asked when I get the other birth certificate back. The social worker said I might not get it back. I asked why. She said because if the judge decides on adoption, then you don't get them back. In other words, she'd lied to me and went on to become one of 2 professionals who fraud on my case, spotted by the judge. So I was totally deceived and misled under the guise of them hiding behind asking for my other son's birth certificate too, to throw me off the scent as far as I can see. If it were me, I would not hand it over. It could be anywhere in the house or out the house, because all you'll do is make their job easier to destroy your family, when at the end of the day they can get their own. It's despicable when these people are behaving like criminals, then want to pretend to be professional. All natural, some know as birth, parents can order a true certified copy of their child's, who are allegedly adopted, know a full-length A4 birth certificate too. If adopted, it will state adopted underneath, although don't see this necessarily as definitive proof. My son couldn't be traced on the entire England and Wales register, but after being refunded, I was still sent copies of various certificates I requested, both before the GMC could find no trace and after when I requested them again, due to having it slipped out to me by a court clerk, adoption if I recall correctly, that his surname had been changed, and at the age of 17, I was fobbed up being told since it was an amendment, and all who held or hold records on the various databases, recare records and adoption records, had not noticed this until he turned 17 years old. Lastly, anyone who knows their details of the alleged adopted parent or parents with their name and address or previous address can request a copy of their child's adoption certificate. Anyone who does this I advise doing by the child's early teens, and again before they reach 18 for England, Wales and Ireland, 16 for Scotland by the time court order is up. Please feel free to copy and paste my comment, show my name to it. What's on the video now, isn't it? If you challenge it back through family court, the judge will say no jurisdiction to investigate. We are happy they've been adopted as we see in the court order. Even if you was put off attending the alleged adoption hearings, so wasn't there to see if an adoption order got done. And until such a time, all parents are given copies of the adoption order, even with personal details redacted and the adoption certificate, then please don't be fooled like I nearly was. Never take their word for it when you can be sent a copy of a document that was not in existence before because there was no trace of an adoption. Bearing in mind, I got an invoice first refunding me for the one certificate, so I got charged £0 in the end. Then got sent one free, alarm bells ringing. I didn't sign any Section 20 agreement. I had a formal care plan through my solicitor to have my son returned home, and despite being screwed over with written evidence which got concealed, my solicitor had sent said evidence to court for me. Also, they'd have me believe my son is finally now back home with me as a young adult, being denied any answers to. It is now all done in the child's best interests. Oh, it is not all done in the child's best interests, should I say. I've offered you all valuable information, which I hope will be of great help to you all. There's something else I wanted to say. I reported a crime last year, or an alleged crime, because I don't even know properly about it myself other than what I've been told, and I did so because I was looking out for children. I got talked into speaking about other things, and giving video evidence on other things, and the things that I was told was very concerning to me. And I was told I couldn't speak out. I couldn't speak out, public about this. I was told if it reaches court, I'd be dragged to court kicking and screaming. So I best still not mention any names because I am looking at putting in a complaint. But I had another persons, I won't say which, I've promised to keep their identity concealed. I've got the, the evidence for this as well. There's somebody else that had come forward at some time, which they've got evidence of it at their end. I could say allegedly, but it's pretty convincing what they've told me. So all this was being done with a view to looking out for children. So I made my views clear that I'd felt pretty forced into it because I'd got interviewed on something else instead. Sort of connected, but what I would report it was something bigger. I'm supposed to have had an awful time of things with really bad things happening to me without me knowing about it. So I got to speak to the one dealing with the case because I got to find out it was closed. It's just got closed down. And I spoke to the case officer. Because from what I understood, we're supposed to be updated every month. This has been going on since last year. And she said, yeah, I'd sent you a letter last year. And then she said, well, because I asked for a copy of it, I think I sent you a letter last year. And then, yeah, fair enough, she didn't have the things in front of her. So to ask for a copy of that, otherwise I'd be putting in a freedom of information request. And I was going to have an update letter sent to me by yesterday. That has not happened. And I said after speaking to her, there was other things where it's like things that she's assumed. She assumed that I wouldn't want to speak to her again because things got quite heated, as she said. And it is true, it had. I wasn't happy the way it was being dealt with. I think we should be told the way things are being done a bit more, you know, than having it, you know, quite concealed. So, the case has just been thrown out and ended. And there was a witness that didn't want to talk. Fair enough, I brought that to them. But they're not the witness that come and told me. And the witness that has told me has not come out and spoke. I can totally understand that makes things difficult. Now, I haven't mentioned any names. But why is it that when things are getting reported where you're looking out for children, why is it just getting closed down? Why isn't it being done? But we're not doing it for our health. We're doing it for children. And I just see it as, you know, it's quite sad, really. You know, they could be watching these people, that they could be doing it because when things are quite historical and you're hearing things from more recent and historical times, are they going to have changed? So I'm absolutely disgusted about it, so I just wanted to add that in as well. And like, say you go to social services and you report alleged abuse, like, you know, for any child, it's surprising how much that they really don't want to look into it. They don't want to look into it, do they? If your son's got beat up in a care home, like mine was, and the judge wants to see this investigation, where's the paperwork? Why is it all getting brushed? I'm not surprised I'm restricted, that's all I'm going to say. I really don't want you knowing this stuff, guys. So, yeah, I'll come on and say hello to you all after. I am going to go out and have a cigarette. I deserve one now. But, yeah, I could always do another one based on your comments. Might give me some ideas, but how long have I been on now? I don't know. I haven't found it too bad. I felt it. It's quite a stress release for me to have been able to come on and talk to you all. And, you know, I've got some brilliant friends on here as well and really supportive. And thank you for caring about me, and especially thank you for caring about my son and my children. And even more so, thank you for caring about all the children and trying to make changes. So, yeah. I'm going to send me love to you all, and I'm going to go now, because I can talk the iron legs off a donkey. Right, you all take care. I'll see ya. Bye.